Hi, I'm Nico and welcome to my channel. Today's video is gonna be a little bit different from my usual videos because today I will not be doing any gunpla. Today I will be sharing with you all how I painted my first ever miniature figure because my dad challenged me to a paint-off. But before we get into the actual painting video, I want to quickly talk about wet palettes while unboxing the Red Grass Games Everlasting Painter V2 wet palette. So what exactly is a wet palette? Well, essentially, it's a tool for painters that keeps your paints hydrated and workable for longer periods of time. Now let's talk about the Red Grass Games Painter V2 wet palette. This is a high quality wet palette that has been designed specifically for miniature painting. It has a durable airtight case that keeps your paints fresh for hours or even days. It also comes with 15 special hydration membranes that is reusable and washable, plus 2 hydration foam pads. All of these saves you money and is a great solution for eco-conscious painters. One potential downside to this wet palette is the price. It is one of the more expensive options on the market. But in my opinion, it's worth the investment if you're a serious painter who wants to take your work to the next level. Overall, I highly recommend the Painter V2 wet palette to anyone who is looking for a reliable, easy-to-use tool for keeping their paints wet and workable for extended periods of time. Now let's go ahead and start painting an orc. So first things first, this is not a tutorial video. So don't come here and expect to learn because half of the time I was not even sure what I was doing. So anyways, this figure is from Warhammer's Hedrakka's Madmob, one of the Bonesplitterz if I remember correctly. And for the base colors, we're gonna be painting it, or I'm gonna be painting it in Army Painter Speed Paints. Version 1 I think. My dad recently got these paints, and since we're both kind of busy with a lot of commissions and projects, we decided that this paint off should be done really fast, really quickly. And what's the best thing to do if you want to paint your miniatures fast is to use speed paints. I mean, it's already in the name, right? Actually, while I was doing this, while I was painting this, I started earlier, a bit earlier than my dad. And I was actually kind of doubting him because he was teaching me, guiding me a little bit with the speed paints. He was telling me to add a lot of paints and maybe even flood the surface areas. And I was doubting if he was teaching me the right way because it's a paint off, and like flooding your paints usually is not what you do. Even in painting, hand painting gunpla, it's not what I recommend doing. So while painting this, I was like, in my mind I was saying, is he teaching me the right things? Why would I flood this? But after a while, after painting the base colors, I actually realized why. It's really just how speed paints work. The more paint you use, the better, because the paints, the pigments, when it's drying, it flows down to the crevices and the cracks. So once it's dry, the crevices and the cracks are darker, which is exactly what you want because those areas are shadow areas. So it's really an amazing and fascinating paint that I've used so far. It's totally different from what I know. But yeah, it's really fun to do it, and it made me look like a much better painter. So yeah, it's really fun. And actually, this orc is the first miniature figure that I ever finished. No, actually I painted one zombie side figure, one zombie, and I think I did the picture of that but never a video. I've never filmed myself painting a miniature before. I've also done one Warhammer figure, I forgot the name, but I am not done with it yet, and it's also airbrush. So essentially, this orc figure, this Bonesplitterz, is the first miniature that I've ever finished and actually shared with you guys. So in a way, it's a special figure for me, plus it's a paint off with my dad. So if you've been a subscriber of mine or you've watched some of my videos, you might remember watching one where I did a build-off, a Gunpla build-off with my dad. Like 2 or 1 year ago, we did a build-off of the entry grade RX-78 to Gunpla. And obviously, I won that one. Everybody said I won that one. And I think I won. But to be honest, with this figure, I'm definitely way out of my comfort zone. I haven't, like right now in this video, you can see that I'm kind of doing the details a bit now. I'm done with the base colors using the speed paints, and now I'm doing the detailing. And this is the part where that I haven't really done before. Like I said, I painted the Warhammer miniature before, and I haven't finished that one yet, so I haven't gone into the detailing stage in that one. So this is the first figure that I'm doing, like the highlighting, the shading, and a little whatever I'm doing right now. So I'm way out of my comfort zone, and I had to actually go to my dad and ask him what am I gonna do now, what's the next step, because I really don't know a thing about miniature painting. Like if I see a miniature, I know it's good, I know it's painted well, but I don't really know a lot about the techniques and the steps you do. It's not really what I like. I'm interested in it, and I see a lot of figures that I want to paint someday. But I don't really watch miniature. I don't even watch my dad's videos. Like, that's how unbothered I am by miniature painting. So yeah, I really did not know what I was doing. So he had to teach me, like, you put the highlighting here, you blend this, you glaze this, and stuff like that. And thankfully, because I really like weathering with my Gunpla, I kinda got the idea behind, like, I realize and I get that, oh, I should be doing this so I can get this result and stuff like that. And it, of course, when after I knew what I needed to do, I kinda got into enjoying it, especially adding the highlights and glazing and stuff, because I really like it takes a long time glazing and blending the skin tones and stuff like that, but I really enjoyed it. It's super fun, the stippling, the blending, adding the scratches. It's a lot like paint chipping and weathering Gunpla, so it's that part is really fun for me, especially once I saw the results. Like glazing yellow, of course, yellow is a very transparent paint. Glazing yellow takes quite a while, especially the first coat. You don't see anything. Like, I was glazing the first coat and it's like the figure is just getting wet. Like, you don't see the paint at all. But after the second coat, you start to see the effect of it, like on the cheekbones, the face, on the chest area, and the ribs. Like, oh yeah, it's starting to look better, like something is happening. So yeah, glazing is really fun for me, which I guess is because I don't really do a lot of figure painting, so I find it enjoyable. Because my dad, he's saying that he doesn't really enjoy, he likes glazing, but it takes a lot of time, which is not efficient for him because he needs to paint a lot of figures. But for me, I really enjoyed glazing because it's such a different thing. It's so different from scribing, customizing, and building Gunpla. So it's relaxing for me, and it's really just fun. Oh, and anyways, because this is a paint-off, of course there has to be a winner. And obviously, my dad is expecting himself to win. But I have to tell you guys that I spent less time painting this and finishing my figure than him. He spent way more time painting, adding details, and making his figure look better. And what I know with miniature painting, he always tells me that the more time you spend on painting the figure, the more it looks better. So guys, you have to take into consideration that he took a lot more time than I did. just because he wanted to win, but I think I'm still gonna win this one. So yeah, comment down below who you think wins, and I think it's still me. Oh, and actually another unfair thing for me is that when we did the build off with the Gunpla, it's so unfair for me because he was a world champion that in Gunpla before. So he obviously knows what to do with Gunpla. He knows how to customize and everything. And now in this paint off, I'm such a beginner. Like, I don't know what to do after the base colors. So you have to also take into consideration that this is my first ever miniature, and I literally had to learn while painting this. So I really think that I win this one. And yeah, there you have it. This is what the finished piece for me looks like. I'm really happy with how it turned out, especially as my first finished figure. I really enjoyed painting it. I love orcs. And yeah, I think it looks really nice. I really love, I don't know what it's called, but like there's a metal type of thing sticking out of its thigh, and I really loved painting that one. It reminds me a lot of painting or paint chipping in Gunpla, and it's really fun to do. I also loved the muscles itself, the skin tone. It's super fun to define it and add the highlight, add the shading here and stuff, and it looks really nice. And this one is what my dad did. His figure is a lot more detailed because it's from Creature Caster. And I have no comments about his work. I mean, it's his regular painting, nothing special, I think. But yeah, so I really think I have a chance of winning. I mean, looking at it side by side like this, I'm pretty proud of myself, and I can definitely see myself painting a lot more figures in the future. I mean, on the days where I don't feel like doing Gunpla. So anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon in the next one. Bye!